What does your testimony about Jesus say about Him and about you? Recently, we've been going through Revelation chapter 12 in our prayer meeting time on Wednesday evening, our midweek Bible study on Wednesday evening over Zoom. This last week, Pastor Joel, our lead elder, who led out, had a wonderful Bible study for us, and we enjoyed it very much. And there's some thoughts I had as we have come out of this time and out of this particular chapter. Just to set it up, Revelation is about the revelation of and from Jesus Christ. He is the revelator. He is the revealed as well. He reveals through John, the beloved, who wrote this particular. He's also called John the Revelator because he wrote this vision in Revelation that reveals Jesus. It also is very concerned with worship, and it reveals the time of the end. So there's a whole lot going on here, and one of the things that John does is he speaks about the current situation that is surrounding the church. He is also speaking about what is going to happen towards the end of time surrounding God's people, but he uses the language of the past to describe all of these things, and the scriptures to him would have been the Old Testament to us. So a lot of things are around this writing, a lot of context, a lot of things that if you don't spend any time on it, you're really not going to get a proper understanding of what it's talking about. And so we come to what we studied last night, and here's what struck me. It's at the very end where it says the snake, or the serpent in some versions, then spewed out water like a river to sweep the woman away, the woman being God's people throughout time, represented at the beginning of the chapter by the 12 stars in her crown. That could represent the 12 tribes of Israel, or it could be the 12 apostles. But here we have the snake spewed water like a river to sweep the woman away, but the earth helped her and swallowed the water that had come from the dragon's mouth. This made the dragon terribly angry with the woman, so it started a war against the rest of her children, or some remnant, it could say a remnant of her children in a lot of versions. They are the people who obey God and are faithful to what Jesus did and taught. The dragon stood on the beach beside the sea. All right, so this is the contemporary English version. Most versions will say something to the effect of they are the people who obey the commandments of God and keep the testimony of Jesus. All right, so that brings me to the question of this testimony of Jesus. The commandments of God can be found throughout the Word. They are the 10 Commandments, which includes the fourth day to keep the Sabbath holy, the fourth commandment, rather, of the seventh day, keep the Sabbath holy. It includes the great commandment of Jesus. When he was asked, what's the greatest commandment? He said, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. It can be inclusive of the Great Commission to take the gospel to the entire world, to teach people and to baptize and to make disciples. All of this could be inclusive here, but this testimony of Jesus, what is a testimony? In the Bible, it is a word that could mean my testimony even before a judge, my witness of something that I actually saw and experienced even before a judge, but it's also before people, before others. This testimony of Jesus, what is it that you would say about Jesus in your life? What do I say about Jesus in my life? What does that witness say about the character of God? What does that witness say about my relationship with Him? That is really, really important, especially as we come into Revelation 13, where the dragon is using all kinds of current events, using all kinds of forms of coercion between state and religion to bring about the end times, really, and to deceive people into following him rather than following the true God. What does my witness say about God? If I am bearing the testimony of Jesus Christ, I am bringing out my experience with Jesus, and my experience with Jesus should be revealing the true character of God. Because what did Jesus do? He said to Philip, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father. The Father himself loves us. God is love. God is perfect love, according to 1 John chapter 4. If I do not love, I do not know God. If I do not love people, if I do not love God, then I am a liar if I say that I'm bearing witness to God through my testimony of Jesus. I think in the end, the character of God being in question, because really that's what the great controversy is really all about, isn't it? It's the serpent lying to people and even lying to angels, how he brought a third of them out of heaven. He's lying about what God is like. He's lying about the Father. He wants to paint the Father in the worst possible light through the coercion of church and state in every circumstance possible. What I don't want is for him to use my false testimony of Jesus. Your testimony of Jesus should paint a picture of God that is beautiful, that is loving, that desires to draw all people to him. Your testimony of Jesus says so much about God. It says so much about you. And when I come to the end of this and it says the necessity of bearing witness of Jesus, you know, if I'm being persecuted because I am appropriately representing the love of God, then I should say that's a gift. That is a victory, not a defeat, not something to despair over, but it's a sign that I'm on the right track, that God is being revealed as he really is. If everybody's just okay with it, and it seems like nothing is wrong and the whole world's just going along with it, maybe I should be a little more concerned. Like, I may be getting something wrong here, because what people want and what people think they need from God is not often who he really is. So I would just encourage you, spend time in the Word of God, spend time in the Gospels especially that teach us of Jesus, because Jesus perfectly reveals the Father. The rest of the Bible confirms, I believe, that God is love, ultimately. And it's my prayer that our witness as a church about the Father's love is verified by our testimony of our experience with Jesus Christ. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a happy Sabbath. God bless.